So yeah, so we are discussing about the SAP NetWeaver administration part here. As part of the SAP NetWeaver administration part, so today I think we have discussed about the some of the administration tabs and some of the NetWeaver administration related tabs we discussed, which are helpful for the in the our day-to-day administration tasks, administration tabs. So in the basic side, if we want to configure the if you want to stop in small applications, if you want to restart it, we can go this one and the configuration tab for the trusted systems. Suppose if we want to trust other systems, we want to configure the SSL configurations like HTTPS configurations, identity management, user management, so single sign-on, destination certificates, right? So these things we discussed, right? So coming to the troubleshooting part here, troubleshooting, Java troubleshooting part here. So in Java level, the troubleshooting part is very, very, very important here. This is what normally our people will lagging here. So why? Because Java means, oh, it's a coding part, and they only knows the work directory here. In the SAP NetWeaver part, they only knows the work directory for troubleshooting the any ABAP issues or Java issues. We will only knows the Java work directory here. Same as like for Java level also here. So we have the work directory as well as the default trace logs. Default trace logs are available here. Work directory and the default trace logs are available here. Work directory and the default trace logs are available here. So work directory means so normally for the work process we have the dev underscore work process 0, dev underscore ICM, then dev underscore dispatcher. So those things are available here. Those things are available here. So the default trace files is the additional for the Java systems here. So Java systems, if any error, either PO issues, interface issues, communication channel issues, business system issues, SFTP adapt, anything Java level, so then we have to go to the default trace file logs. These two logs are very important to find out the root cause, what is the issue, and we need to fix the issues here. So for Java system, work directory we know, right? It's a USR, SAP, SID, then so J instance number, then J2, sorry, work directory. This one we know here. For the especially for the Java systems, the mainly you need to look at the dev underscore server 0, then dev underscore, so dev underscore server 0, dev underscore ICM. Why? Because these are the server nodes for these are the work process for the Java, right? Above we have the dialogues, how we have dialogue update for Java systems. So these are the important things. Dev underscore server 0, dev underscore ICM, then so dev underscore, so std underscore server 0, right? std underscore, so std underscore server 1 if you have the more number of process. So here dev underscore, so bootstrap. So like that log files are there. It starts with the dev underscore server 0, server 1. These log files are very, 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 very important log files to investigate it here in the system. So what's happening in the my Java system level? If we go to the work OS level, if we go to the C drive, if we go to the so USR, so SAP, then so SID, then if you go to the J instance number, then work directory here, right? Here you can see, so dev underscore server 0, so std underscore server 0, so dev underscore ICM, so bootstrap. These files are very, very, very important. These files are very, very important to get the clear picture here. These files are very important here. So if you open the log file, how the Java server node? Why? Because most of the work, like in the Java level, your task is executing, you are able to log into the Java system, you are able to navigate the systems one tab to another tab, you are able to pulling the data means because of so this Java server node, this Java server node here. In the server node, it will give the clear information here. In the server node, it will give the clear information here. So which means what's happened in the system. So why there are the issues when it was started? Are there any errors in the system? So it will give the clear information for Java here. It will give the clear information here. See here the performance counter value. So warning, there is a warning issued. So then Then like this, we can check the error logs, log files, some warnings, rejected the call, getting the string value, reject. These all are the warnings. Warnings fine. Some errors. Errors are very critical here. Errors are very critical here. We need to check when it was occurred. So like this log files, if any issues, the traces will be, the log will be generated. The log will be generated in this way here. The new issues, these logs will be generated here. Any issues, the logs will be, the logs will be generated here. Any issues here. This is the way we need to troubleshoot the issues here. This is the way we need to. So these are the log files we need to check to troubleshoot it here, right? So the one more important log files are the default trace file. Default trace file. The location of the default trace file. These are the common frequently asked FAQs. So which means interview questions. These are the frequently asked questions here, right? So what are log files location for the Java systems? Then J2EE cluster, server 0 and log. So these are the default trace file logs location here, default trace log location here. If you go to the here, J2EE, so cluster, J2EE cluster, then server 0, then log folder here, here you can see the, so timelines here. So based upon the timelines, just open the default trace file log. So which application, which component, which interface, what's happening. More details you will get from the default trace log file. More details you will get from the default trace log file from the Java systems here. So these log files will give you the clear information. So what's happening in the system here. It will generate the more logs here in the Java system side. It will generate the more logs here. See here, there is a invalid response, 401 unauthorized error, right? There is a web services, right? So here, if any issues, it will generate the huge log file will be generated. Huge log file will be generated here. You can see there is a huge log file is generated here. Huge log file is generated. From here to here, there is a log file is generated here. Here, what we have to look is here, we need to look at the, so fail it to retrieve the monitor information, the instance located on the host. So invalid response code. Something either the someone it is using the, this is the process it is utilizing, but it's giving the unauthorized response here. So then we can check it out. So what exactly happening in the system? There is a lot of log file is generated here, right? Invalid response. Like this, you can see this error is frequently generating. This error is frequently generating here. Frequently generating here. So see here, frequently these errors are generating. So something wrong with the system or some abnormal connection is trying to access the system with wrong password. Some wrong password they are trying to use it here. So invalid response they are getting here in the web services side. So this is the some kind of behavior like this. We can get the more logs. Maybe if you go to the application traces, so here the application side, which service is responding the error, which service is failing the error. So all the clean the database tables level, each and everything starting to ending, each and every information will be locked in the application traces and the default trace files. These are the default trace file logs here. So based upon the error message, we may have to act accordingly here, right? So here it is the troubleshooting directory of the this one here. So work directory and default trace directory here. One more directory for the Java systems. This is the navigation here. J2EE cluster server 0 log file. Here we can find out the information. Here we can find out the some useful information here. So if I find out the, so some useful information we can find out from here. So that here the default traces here, it will be, so the whatever the error messages, whatever the information, each and everything will be tracked. Each and everything will be tracked here. So that is what we need to check the error messages and everything here. All right. So that is what we need to look at this one here as part of the troubleshooting area here. Same as like here, Suppose this is the OS level information. Suppose you don't have the access to the operating system. If you don't have the access to the operating system here, then you can go to the logs and traces here. Just you can go to the log viewer. Here, same logs you can pull it from here as well here. Same in the HANA Studio, how we can see the diagnosis files, same as like here also we can go to the here, we can see the log files here. But there is a connection is broken, I think. That's why the log files are not loading. Maybe if you wait for some time or if you refresh, connection to the host, local host number 340. Yeah, there is a error on this port number here. So there is a some invalid response here. So that is the reason. So it's giving the error messages here. That is the reason the connection is refused. The connection is refused on this port number here. There is a error. So that's the reason it's unable to connect to it unable to go ahead and OS level pull the data. OS level also it's go to this folder level. The log files will be displayed. The log files will be displayed from here. That is called the log viewer here. Log viewer here. The logs related information, everything. If we want to increase the logs, we want to increase the log configuration. We want to increase the log configuration. We can go to the log configuration. We can increase it. Suppose, so as of now, it's generate the normal logs here. You want more logs for that to debugging the application and everything. Then you can change the only now only information will be collecting. You want to collect more logs. Then you want only error logs. You want only warnings. You want only so all. Then you can just select the all. Then save the configuration. All the application server related all the logs will be generated here. Suppose you want to user session, not the information, everything should be generated. Then user related sessions related information will be generated. Under the log folder, user.session will be created here. Under the log folder, there is a J2EE cluster server 0. Under the log folder, there is a user dot whenever any user sessions are generated, it will be create the session will be generated here. So like that, you want to track the sessions, not only just information, everything, the warnings, errors, everything. Then you can just save the configuration. Then that will be collected here. That information will be collected here. So like that, if you want to generate, if you want to see the anything with respect to the users, so logs, more logs, collecting to the more logs here. So then we need to look at the severity of the logs. Then what happens sometimes SAP will ask you, sometimes SAP will ask you to collect the some logs, but those logs are not enough. That time they will ask you, please change the log severity to the all or error messages. Then they will ask you to collect the information. Then we will collect it. Then we will go to the default trace log files here. So generate, just take it out all, just to attach this to the SAP will ask only these logs. Attach these log files to the SAP. SAP will start troubleshooting the issue. SAP will keep starting troubleshooting the issues here. This is about the troubleshooting area, logs and traces here. The logs, so logs and the advanced troubleshooting, dump analysis, heap analysis, this kind of normal logs and traces will be available. Sometimes what happens due to memory issues, Java is frequently based upon the memory issues only. Java nodes, server 0 nodes will get crash. It will generate the very huge log files and it will get crashed. Java node will be restarted automatically in the real-time systems due to the memory issues. If we want to generate the heap dump, if we want to generate the log file, heap dump log files, then we can generate the log. While if we can generate it, we can see what caused the, sometimes what happens, so some information will not be tracked under the log viewer, or default trace files will not be tracked here. Okay, so then if you go to the advanced troubleshooting here we can see the dump analysis here, thread dump analysis here. So dump analysis and heap dump analysis here. In as part of the heap dump analysis, heap means memory dump here. So we can find out what caused the high memory issues, what caused the very high memory issues, what component, what is the message. PI means PI side, what is the message size, which messages are, which components are caused the very huge dump. So that related information we can track it under the heap dump, that type of analysis we can find out. Thread dumps means thread dump means your user request be handled based upon the your user request will be handled by the threads. Java level, normally Java level threads, your browser request will be taken care by the HTTP thread. Thread will take your request, it will carry out the your work here. Thread will take the request, it will carry out the work here. So here Java threads, Java, there is a threads concept here. If you see the Java, what is this thread? Oh, I see, yes, okay. Here, if you see the threads here, Java, so here the threads, yeah, there are a lot of threads are there. Lots are the Jaco server, thread pool, KM threads, there are a lot of threads are there. But here we need to look at the HTTP threads. HTTP threads. HTTP threads are responsible for HTTP worker threads are responsible for to take the your user request to log into the SAP system through browser. Then HTTP threads are responsible here. This HTTP threads will helpful to handle the request. To handle the request, HTTP thread will be helpful here. HTTP thread will be helpful here. This way, so threads will take care of the your request here. The thread will take care of the your request. Okay. So you want to see why the thread is hung status, why the thread is not responding. Even though the threads are free, why it is not, why I am unable to log into the browser level. So which means there is some issue. Normally, if you want to go to the browser and your system is opening fine, then you are not getting the 500 internal server response, system is not taking the request, means it's a threads responsibility. It's a HTTP threads responsibility. So it's not responding means here we can generate the thread dump. Threads dump we can generate it here so that it will create the log files. It will create the log files here. It will create the log files at operating system level. It will create the log files at operating system level. So based upon that log files, based upon the log files, so we can, based upon the log files, we can get the, so what is the exact information and everything, we can check it out here, right? Why the thread is running from long time, why user is not responding, all kind of information we can carry out in the here in the thread dump analysis. In the thread dump analysis, we can carry out the all the information here. This is the thread dumps. So anything we can thread dumps and heap dumps, we can filter it out here, right? It is the advanced troubleshooting part here, analysis part. Normal logs are enough, but you are not getting the enough information from the log viewer or traces, then go to the advanced logs, generate the logs, and you can generate the memory logs and thread logs. But normally in the log viewer, it will generate the memory issues and everything. It's not giving the information much. Then you can generate the heap dump analysis. Those things we can perform it in the system level. We can check it out. We can check it out in the system level. That is what the heap dumps and analysis as part of the troubleshooting here, right? Log configurations. These and all the open SQL monitor means some SQL statements monitoring, tracing, normally ST05. We will take the ST01, we will take the SQL tracing, performance tracing. So all the tracing, right? Here tracing, we can enable it here. Here tracing, we can enable it here. So this tracing, this connections monitoring, so we can find out the, so is there any DB level issues? We can find out the some information here. We can find out the some information here, these traces here, right? So that is the trace evaluation, then catalogs, so some statistics monitoring. So all kind of things we can check it out in the administration part here, SQL administration, tracing. So that is the tracing part. Normally we won't check all those things in the Java level. Java level, the mainly the logs, stopping and charting the Java systems, checking the logs, and one more thing is in the Java side, certificates, SSO configurations, SSL enabling, trusted systems. These are the important points which we, so those things are the very important here, Java level. Those systems are very important for the, so for day-to-day activities purpose. Normally, so we will not use all the functionalities here in the here. Only few functionalities we will use it here. The troubleshooting part, these are the things. And in the configuration part, so few things like destination, certificates. So this one, availability, performance monitoring, operations, and SOE is means it's a purely, it's a developers. So in the portal side also we have the portal developers. So they will create the web services, registry services. So something they will work on that one here. So but we will not going to touch this one here. It's not required however, right? So our manager related things here. Only few things are, it's our responsibility. We will work on these areas here. Okay. So this is the Java NWA part. So we have some other topics like config tool. Yeah, we need to discuss about the Java config tool, and also Java Java patching activities. So yeah, these things we have to, these are the very important. Your main thing is the config tool, Java patching are the very important, and troubleshooting log files, where to check and everything, and Java parameter changes, where to change it in NWA. So if NWA is not available, then config tool. So yeah, Java system starting and stopping. This type of information well enough for you guys. Why? Because we are not the portal administrators. So, but just only basis administrators, but we require some knowledge on the Java side. That's why we are discussing about the few important things in the Java side here.